Hey, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. This is your girl, Tonetta, your social worker coach. I want to bring out this video this morning talking about the change challenge. It's day number 5. And I was when I was up, I was doing Qigong this morning. I just finished maybe like 10 minutes ago. And while I was doing that, I was thinking back to the conversation, or the video on yesterday. And, it just reminded me to make sure that I kind of went a little bit deeper, I guess, about the seasons that we're in. I guess I put it that way. And the reason why I'm talking about that, like I said, definitely I realized some stuff on my own as well. I'm sure some of y'all may have realized it as well, but I know for me, as far as the lack of patience, actually for anything, whether it's anything I want to change, whether it's the patience, whether it's my speech, whether it's my thoughts or whatever it is, I had to think back, like I said before in one of the previous videos, to where those things kind of came from. Not just dwell there, stay there for hours and days and months and years, that kind of thing, but just think back for a few moments to where that came from and figure out how I'm going to change it in order to move forward. And what I was thinking about this morning was just about the seasons that we go through, or the years, or the months, or the times that we go through in our lives, where everything that we've been through, all the habits that we have, we don't need them all. I guess I put it that way. I know a lot of times, of course, like I said, just looking back at my own life, knowing that I had to have that sense of control over everything. I had to make sure, growing up, I had to make sure that I was trying to control my environment as much as I could. I guess I put it that way. So I can keep myself safe, so that I can be okay. I guess I put it that way, so I can have what I needed and those kind of things. And I realized, of course, I don't know how many years ago it was, probably about 3, 4, I don't know, within like the last 5 years, I don't know. I realized that I don't need to have all that same sense of control, because I'm safe in the environment that I'm in. Like I said, that habit of control just was in my life all the time, I guess, for 40 some years. And like I said, I had to realize that I don't need that in this season anymore. I feel safe. I have everything I need. My needs are met. I mean, I don't have anything that I'm longing for, that kind of thing at all. And I'm safe. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's fighting. Nobody's using drugs, nothing like that. So like I said, I didn't need to have and to keep using that and keep having that habit of control in my life at this time. I guess I put it that way. And that's what I want to bring y'all in this video this morning. Just know that no matter what happened when you're a child or growing up or teens or whatever the case may be, just realize that as an adult, sometimes we kind of outgrow those habits. Sometimes we don't need those habits in the particular season that we're in. Like I said, I didn't need to, I guess, to keep controlling my environment to the extent that everything was like by clockwork. I guess I put it that way. I didn't need to keep, I guess, to continue doing that, because I am safe where I'm at now. I've been safe for several years, actually, but like I said, I still had that mentality and still doing the same automatic things, the same behavior all the time, because that's what I grew up knowing and that's what I grew up doing. I guess I put it that way. That was the habit that I created. I guess I'd say that. So since we're talking about habits this week. And like I said, that was the habit that I created that in order to keep myself safe from harm, safe from any kind of violence, any of those types of things. And like I said, I had to control my environment like that. But like I said, as I went through life and as I'm looking back now, as I'm talking to y'all, like I said, definitely I know that, and as I discovered and realized also a few years ago, that I didn't need that sense of control over every single thing that I'm doing now. And like I said, that's a lot of times we have to realize that as well in our own lives. It may not just be control for you all, but that was just something, an example that I could use for myself. It can be the patience. It can be whatever it is. I don't know, negative thoughts, or it can be overthinking. It can be a lack of trust. I mean, it could be any of those things. And like I said, sometimes we create habits around those things, these automatic behaviors that every time something happens, we lock ourselves up or close ourselves down or shut our lives down, because we don't want anybody else entering, or we don't want nothing else to happen, or we're trying to control this and that kind of thing. Like I said, we have to realize that as you grow and as you, of course, start accomplishing some of your goals, and as you start healing, as you start lessening your triggers, there are some things that you don't need in your current season. Some of the habits that you once had, or some of the mindset that you once had, or some of the attitudes that you once had, and some of the perspectives that you once had. Like I said, those things are needed, of course, if it was a season, if it was a season to, of course, keep you safe, or to keep you involved, or to keep you going, or whatever the case may be. But you've gotten to a point where you've kind of evened out, you've healed a little, you've lessened some triggers a little bit, and that kind of thing. And you're realizing that I don't need this sense of control. I don't need this negative mindset. I don't need the cursing anymore. Though, like I said, definitely You just have to realize that like I said, you have to realize it for yourself, that there's some habits and some behaviors and some thoughts and some things that you go through that you no longer need in particular seasons. And like I said, I just thinking about that this morning. I know I said that in the video yesterday as well, but just thinking about that this morning while I was doing Qigong, I really want to make sure that I dive a little bit more deeper, I guess, into that. Because like I said, some folks, of course, I've talked to many, being a social worker, being a coach, I've talked to, I can't tell you how many folks, from kids on up to, I guess, to the elderly and seniors. I cannot tell you how many times that people would tell me that I've had this longing for, I guess I'll just use regrets for one. Because the clients I work with right now, of course, in for like the last several years have been older adults, seniors, that kind of thing. Their main thing, of course, they're on their, not saying they're all on their deathbed, that kind of thing, but a lot of them have health issues and they cannot do the things that they always wanted to do, dream to do, that kind of thing. And like I said, the regrets. You can have regrets about all types of things. But at some point, we have to realize that those regrets may no longer serve us. I guess I put it that way. Because all they're going to do is stress us out, to have us thinking about them all the time, the woulda, shoulda, couldas, while we're trying to still move ahead in life and trying to evolve into something else. We're stuck on the regrets that we didn't take those trips, or we didn't have this bike ride, or whatever it was. I don't know. Whatever it is for you. But like I said, we definitely have to realize that some things just don't serve us in certain seasons anymore. And a lot of the things that, for me, and what I see and what I've always noticed, I guess I put it that way, is that the things that I went through in my childhood, all the behaviors, all the habits, all the mindsets, all the attitudes that was created within me, I guess I put it that way. Some of those things I did not need when I became an adult, and when I started healing, when I started going on this self-care journey and that kind of thing as well. Like I said before, I didn't always have to be controlling of my everything that I did, the environment, the household, everybody in the house. I didn't have to continue on, which I was doing that to a certain extent, in my marriage, actually, too. In other relationships that I've had. But I had to take a step back and look at things like, okay, why am I still doing this? I don't feel unsafe in these environments anymore, so I don't even need this anymore, for one. And like I said, that's something that, like I said, that you'll have to go back and evaluate over your life as well. If there's something that you're doing that you automatically do, like I said, the habits, that those behaviors that we just automatically do when we have a trigger of some sort. But if you no longer need those things, like I said, you have to decide within yourself what it is that you need and what it is that you want to let go of. But like I said, some of those things I'm sure you don't need anymore. Like I said, I have safety in my environment. I didn't need to control everything to keep myself safe anymore. I no longer had all the predators, all the drug usage, all the domestic violence, and all the violence going on around me. I wasn't in an environment like that. Actually, after I got out of college, well, during college, I wasn't even in an environment like that. Unless I went back to visit family, friends, that kind of thing. That was the only time that I would need to have that sense of control and protection over myself. Otherwise, I had to let that go. And that wasn't until, like I said, a few years ago, actually. But like I said, you have to figure out what it is for you and what it is that you're constantly doing, and your, whatever, I guess, with the habit that you're doing. What it is that you're constantly doing that's always triggered by something that you probably no longer need anymore. But like I said earlier in the week, you have to start writing down the habits that you have, the things that you feel that you want to change, where those things came from, and whether you still need those things in your life anymore. That's something that you have to decide. And yes, you can always create the addition of more habits. We'll talk about that another time. But like I said, this is about letting go of the habits that no longer serve us in the seasons that we're in. And like I said, this is something that I would urge you to definitely think about, especially when it comes to change and trying to change your life, trying to transform, and self-care, self-love, all those types of things, your boundaries. Please reevaluate those things. Because like I said, I'm sure for each person, I'm sure for every person that hears my voice and see this video or listening to this video, I'm sure there's one thing that you're doing that may no longer serve you anymore, that you don't even need in this season. I haven't talked to one person yet that there wasn't at least one thing that they were doing that they no longer need. But they were doing it out of usually out of fear, out of protection, out of control, whatever it was back when they were a kid. And it just kept going over the years. But you may be in a different environment now, doing what you need to do, focusing on yourself, focusing on your career, that kind of thing. And some of those things you may not even need to protect yourself from anymore. but they're habits that you created because that's what kept you safe. That's what made you feel like a person. That's what made you feel loved, or that's what made you feel like you could have sense of control over your environment. But like I said, just take a step back. And like I said, I guess some of the examples I gave you in this video, but like I said, just take a step back and think about the habits that you're doing that no longer serve you in the season that you're currently in. I'm sure there's at least one. I know I did give the example about control, but there was others I had as well. So like I said, definitely I hope this video and this message, not just the video, I don't care about you seeing the video as long as you hear it, but about the message. I hope this message gets to somebody this morning. And I'm sure somebody somewhere needed this message this morning, because I didn't have to keep harping on it. I guess I put it that way. But for some reason, like I said, it was definitely on my mind this morning. I talked about it a little bit in the video yesterday. I think I said maybe like one sentence about it. But for some reason, it was still stuck in my mind this morning. So somebody needed to hear this, and it could have just been me. But like I said, definitely think about that. What habits and things are you doing, whether it's habits, the attitudes, the mindset, are you doing or do you have that no longer serve you in this season that you're currently in? And when I say season, I mean this time of your life that you're currently in. Does it still serve you to even have those things, to have that sense of fear, to have that sense of control, to have that same mindset, to have that same attitude? When you see that things are changing in your life and things are getting better, do you still need those, I guess, to hold on to those things? That, like I said, that's something that you have to think about. But if you need my assistance, of course, I am a certified life coach. You can always reach out to me, DM me for one-on-one coaching if you need. I'm definitely here to help. So like I said, definitely I want to say take care, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow in the next video. I hope this message, like I said, got to somebody this morning. And I urged you the other day to make sure that you get a journal, a notebook, something to write in so that you can write down these things and think about your life. Actually think, not just put things down, all this kind of stuff. Actually think and think back and reflect on things. That's how change happens. So take care, y'all, and have a good one. Like I said, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning in the next morning video talking about the change challenge. Peace out, y'all, and have a good one.